Okay, making my first video here. I wanted to start making these videos. I signed up for the Tough Mudder Infinite. It's going to be at the end of August this year. And the Tough Mudder Infinite is a 10-hour Tough Mudder race. It's an obstacle course. You get a 15K loop and a 5K loop. And you essentially get 10 hours to see how many loops you can do. So I signed up for it and I immediately went online to try and find out, okay, well, how can I build my training program? And what I found was a lot of stuff out there regarding a Tough Mudder Classic, how to train for an OCR. I had a little bit of experience with that. I've done Tough Mudder a couple of past years, but I also found a lot of information on longer runs, ultra marathons, so to speak, things like that, where you're running for 100 miles. Nothing was really long enough on the OCR information, where once you go past that Tough Mudder Classic, that 10-mile, 9-mile, 10-mile, you really don't get a whole lot of information. As far as the ultra running, I'm not going to be running 100 miles and it's not going to be a 24-hour race. So a lot of it was too long. So I pieced things together. I put things together pretty well, I hope. And I'm going to be logging how I'm doing, what I'm doing. Hopefully at the end of this, we can look back and I can see, okay, this worked well. Hopefully at the end of it, I do get to accomplish the Tough Mudder Infinite. My goal for that is to hit 50K in the event. So it's going to be pretty quick for me. My baseline right now is I've done, like I said, a couple of Tough Mudders the last couple of years. I am, until this past week, I was running 4 to 5 times a week, 4 miles usually. This past week, I would say it was week 1, where I was running, I ran 4 times between 4 and 5 miles. And then yesterday was Saturday, I had my first long run where I ran 10 miles. Usually my 4 to 5 mile runs, I'm keeping around 8:50 for the pace. And then for the 10-mile run, I just bumped that up in just 10-minute miles and kept it there. So we'll see how that works. I felt pretty good on the 10-mile, so I'll probably keep something like that delta going. And then, as far as the other piece of it, I'm going to be hopefully running for the trail part, but when I get to the obstacles, I am going to be relying heavily on my upper body. Probably not the most efficient way to do it, but my plan is to use those as an opportunity to give my legs to rest. So I am lifting, I'm doing other, core exercises as well. I am primarily doing pulling functions, so something like pull-ups, rows. I'm doing some shoulder prehab, rotator cuff moves where I'm just trying to avoid any sort of injury. That's kind of for at least for the time being. Any injury would knock me back further than the extra couple pounds would help. So doing some prehab on that, and then, like I said, doing some core strengths, back extensions, things like that are going to help stabilize my back. So that is that. I figured I would start making these. At the end of it, I can look back and tweak, hey, what worked well, what didn't work well. Hopefully at the end of it, I'm talking about how I accomplished the 50K in the Tough Mudder Infinite, and I can see where I would adjust that to maybe even improve for next year. So that's my plan, and I'm going to be continuing to make these videos to log and hopefully learn about how I can improve what I'm doing next year.